On this episode, we have the brother from another mother discussion with my college roommate. My guest is Joey, and as you can imagine, there's plenty of storytelling, laughter, and you remember that time kind of moments. Joey and I both grew up in small towns near each other, and as small towns often do, our circles eventually overlapped. What started as a friendship quickly grew into a strong bond. We became fraternity brothers, roommates, close friends, practically family. We also get a surprise visit from our other roommate and previous guest, Denney James, and never officially start the podcast. Let's jump in. Do you remember when we gave you that like starter pack for your Mustang?
Yeah.
Did I hand paint that car? Was that car hand painted?
So I still have that little car. So it was like this little Matchbox Mustang that had the
white stripes.
Yeah, black with the white stripes. Funny, my grandparents would see that Mustang and they called it the Cervenka mobile. Like, it looks like a skunk. So we had Christmas that year in our apartment, and we're like, we're gonna do all these gag gifts. We're gonna do something fun. And I don't know what I got for you and Brandon. I don't recall, but I remember y'all joined forces, and I got the black and white fuzzy dice, the black and white cover around the wheel, the shifter. I'm so pissed.
The license plate.
Yeah, I don't remember the license plate, but that didn't surprise me.
I don't. What's your greatest memory with me?
There's a lot of them. We spent so much time together, right? It was in high school. A lot of it was college. I spent a little time with you in college, just through mutual friends. And I was watching one of your prior podcasts with Jared, right?
Oh, we lived together.
Huh?
We lived together.
No, I know, but I'm going back to thinking, okay, what was it my first memory or was it my greatest memory? So I'm kind of going through the process.
My bad.
That's right.
My bad.
I would say, when I first got to college, I kind of went to San Marcos before a lot of my other high school friends did, and I didn't know anybody. And somehow I got connected with you really quickly, and you kind of like started pulling me into getting to hang out with the fraternity brothers, some of your friends that you had already made. So that kind of helped me get acclimated, if you will, to college, because I already had a couple friends that I knew. And, that was fun because college is a scary time, especially when you're going away from home and you're on your own and you're having to make new friends and kind of start figuring out your life by yourself.
Is it sad that my greatest memory of you is one of my darkest moments of my college life?
Well, I can list a few of them, so I'm curious to see which one comes first.
I mean, okay, so this has to be before 2008. So that means that there were no like iPhones and things like that. So like what cell phones were. We can fast forward through the part where me and my brother went to this party at an apartment complex and went swimming with ladies in our clothes. And then like I was driving home all wet with no clothes on. And we decided that we're going to skip the train tracks because there was a train coming and take the emergency exit.
Emergency exit only. Yeah.
And get pulled over. Mm-hmm. And then the guy is like, do you have anybody you can call?
So I think we need to stop there and kind of rewind that story a little bit. Because the reason I wasn't out with y'all swimming naked was I felt horrible that day.
Yeah, because
I was legit sick. And I remember y'all went out and I was laying in bed and I couldn't breathe. I was coughing and it was like tight and my chest was hurting and I I called my mom. I'm like, hey, can you keep the insurance card? Because I got to go to the hospital. So I pull out of our apartment complex and I start driving and I see
these two assholes.
I see these two dumbasses on the side of the road.
They got pulled
barely
over.
any clothes on. And I'm like, I bet you they went through the emergency exit. Stupid. Good for them. Right. And then I get maybe like 5 more miles down the road. Like I can literally see the San Marcos emergency center. And all of a sudden I get this strange phone call. So I remember this distinctly. I grabbed my phone and I'm like, that's the time before.
But at that time, if you got a number that wasn't in your phone already, you would still answer it.
Right. It wasn't a spam call. It wasn't a scam call.
Yeah. So you answered almost every call that came in.
Yeah. And it was the San Marcos number. So I'm like, okay. I could barely talk. And I'm like, hello. And I'm like, this is Officer so-and-so. We have your 2 roommates. They saw you drive by. I'm like, oh, that was them, dumbasses. And then he's like, I'm either taking them to jail or you come back and get them. I'm like, officer, I'm literally staring at the hospital. I'm going to check myself in. He's like, either you get them or they go to jail. So what does a good friend do? Turned around, got your drunk asses, brought you back to the apartment, and then went back to the hospital.
Thank you.
For which part?
All of it.
Yeah.
I guess I never thought of it kind of this way, but probably part of the reason why it's my greatest memory is because, that's a really good friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like I would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Brandon? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Brandon would have
rat you out.
No,
like, Scott, just how we're driving.
No, 100%. He would do it. You know what I mean? And that's
we were kind of like the 3 Musketeers. When it was me, you, and Brandon. It was like I was like the middle brother, right? I have a younger brother that he's my best friend. We're super close even to this day.
But he wasn't there at that time.
No, he was coming up the next year. So I was kind of like the middle brother, which was nice because I had Brandon and I had a big brother like you, and we did a lot together. We got a lot of fun. We got into some situations to where we fight about stuff. Because you have 3 different strong personalities in different aspects, all kind of living on top of each other. It was hard sometimes, but then it was also, I could like, hey Scott, Brandon, what are you doing? Let's go do something fun. And immediately going to the river, right? Going to the gym, going out to eat, going to the square, going to Austin. We had a lot of fun times.
Well, I just think about people that just don't ever really get to experience that. They just don't really ever have close friends. Whatever happens in some way, they just don't pick up those people, and how much that must suck to kind of feel so lonely, like to go through that. And I'm really lucky that, I had that experience and we did do things like that.
I think when people kind of weave in and out of your life throughout your life, especially early on when you're in middle school, high school, and college, you gravitate to certain people for things that you're needing, right? Whether it's acceptance, whether it's influence, whether it's you just need a shoulder to cry on, right? And so you look at that. And so I have a lot of friends, including you and Brandon, that kind of, especially into that college phase, is kind of interweaved in and out of our lives, right? We came from common backgrounds. We came from small communities. We came from, strong families. We came from similar upbringings. So we had a lot in common from that. And then on top of that, it was, whatever it was that either you were dealing with or I was dealing with, we were able to kind of figure it out together.
Yeah.
This is the moment where Joey and all of you find out that our college roommate, Denney James, is going to join us. Let's jump back in.
Yeah, that was one of the stories I thought about when I was driving over here was that.
Oh, hell!
Denney motherfucking James. I called you not too long ago.
Did you?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. Oh man. I'll see if I can do that to you. Just jump for me.
Yeah, I'd have to jump.
What's up?
Oh. Like cavemen around here. All right. You're gonna hang over there for a little bit.
We're gonna be the stars.
You what?
We're gonna be the stars.
Yeah, you are the stars.
All right.
I still gotta put up that footage. I haven't seen that footage of you and Jody that night. I haven't watched it at all. That night was that was wow.
Because Turley was here too, right?
Yeah, and like Jody was just like,
Out of 10.
yeah, he was on a 10 that night, and Jared was just like, I fucking had enough. You know what I mean? So sit back and pull that mic in. So, there's no reason to even like mess around. Joey, what's up? This is my college roommate, Joey, good friend. We've known each other for a long time. And as you have found out, I surprised him with our other good friend, Denney. Say what's up, Denney.
Hey.
You know, it's a good opportunity to be here.
Just set the record straight.
Yeah. You know, we've been friends for a long time, and I've just really been excited about the things that you've done in your career, right? You know, this is not about me, it's about you and your podcast. You've you know, even when we were in college, the things that you would do with designing our fraternity shirts, the things that you would do on the computer, the music, that remember the disc that we'd make?
What disc?
Like, remember you
mixtapes.
would, yeah, the mix burns, and then like you would actually print different things on them. Like I had one for the longest time. It was, remember Baby Joey? Do you remember that? It was this toddler that had 3 legs, and my wife's like, Joey, you have to let that go at some point. I'm like, but babe, I can't. Scott made it for me.
I do remember that.
But so anyway, so it's awesome to kind of see what
Like
you're doing.
I'm getting on like the internet, and and then into Google I'm typing like baby like 3 legs or whatever, and then I'm downloading that picture and I'm printing it onto like a CD cover to give to my friend.
That's funny.
I love that, man. But and you did that with a lot of CDs, right? But my point is you know, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to help support you and what you're doing. But and it's exciting to kind of see like your art, your you know, that side of that brain that you use for creativity is just kind of taking you to where it is now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And there'll be, but I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Thank you. You know, usually, I don't ever make stuff about me, but it also speaks to, I guess, kind of our friendship and stuff like that we kind of talk about, that, you know, to kind of be real, say real things and be real like that. And that's kind of how we communicate, even if it's not like comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, so you and Denney can text each other with y'all's fucking Androids.
I may have to toss in the towel after. I know it hurts. It hurts to say that, Denney, but like I'm excluded from text chains. I don't get photos anymore.
Because bro, they're about to fix all that.
I know, but you're gonna have to go through another app to do it.
No, Apple's gonna start supporting the new Android. The Google created, it's called RTS or something like that, and they're gonna start supporting it. So we'll be able to get like people's videos in the good clarity, and they'll be able to get ours in good clarity too. So I'd say hang on there for just a little bit. Next release.
So I've been fighting the fight for a long time.
Oh yeah, trust me.
It's like, man, you do that and people hate you. I mean, it's
Well, they're stupid.
Yeah,
Apple's for simple people. Have simple needs.
Yeah. We don't.
That sounds. You know what that sounds? That sounds like a Cowboys fan. That's what that sounds like. That's what Cowboys fans say.
It's just
It's not about us. It's about y'all. Like, you know what I mean? It's y'all's fault that y'all hate us.
I just want to be able to control my phone. I want my phone to control me. Like, I want to be able to get into the guts of my phone and play around with it. And you can't do that with Apple. You can't.
Why are you trying to fuck around with shit?
And you're like, why do you need that? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just want to, you know?
That's fine.
Why are boobs good, right?
Yeah,
They just are.
They just are.
Oh, you remember Red Diablo?
Yeah, I know.
Do you know Red Diablo? Was Denney around for Red Diablo?
I remember Kenny.
And Wesley Pipes.
No, we had a bong that was Kenny.
Yeah, I think
That was with
together?
Fowler. That was Fowler.
no.
never mind.
I think it was when
Me, you, and Brandon lived together.
Yeah, that's when we got El Diablo that somebody else gave me, or it got stolen and I stole it. I don't remember how it went down, but I remember we had it for the longest time, and then when we moved to Avalon, sorry, go ahead and do your introduction.
Now go.
We can wait, no big deal.
Move the Avalon. Keep going.
Oh, so we moved it to Avalon, and I remember my mom came over and Josh and I were both at work, so she's like cleaning up our apartment, and I come back home, and El Diablo is sitting around the kitchen table. My mom's staring at it, like, start dying laughing. She's like, I raised you better.
How do you know what that is, Mom? That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that time we were living together? I don't know whose pipe it was. It was one of ours or something like that, smoking weed, right? We'll just say it's mine for the sake of the story. So that nothing's on you. I'm not going to take you down with me. And we had smoked outside because Brandon
I'm not taking you down, but we smoked together.
Yeah. No. Wait, I had smoked outside, but because Brandon didn't want us to smoke in the house.
Yes.
You remember this?
And I think I had my window open.
Yeah. So we put the pipe on the window to like air it out. Like we smoked outside, but Brandon thought we had smoked in the house. And he lost his fucking shit. He was so fucking mad.
Yes.
And like so mad that he called my mom and told her that I smoked weed.
Brandon.
And I was like, God damn. And then my mom was like, she said some shit like, she goes, if you go to jail, I'm not bailing you out. I was like, fine. Like, fuck.
Brandon's crying, Scott's screaming. I'm like, oh God, I just want to move out sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, do you remember that time that girl came in our apartment? It was the wrong apartment. And she went in the rooms and like she went in Brandon's room and he was like, what the fuck? And like I woke up and you just see this girl like run out of her fucking apartment. You don't remember that?
But I probably heard the gate slam because remember my room was the closest to that gate and there was like no padding. So you'd hear that gate slam all night long.
So what apartment was that?
Post Road. The phase 2, I think is what it was.
It was Post Road. I didn't know that. Post Road phase 2, which was the more fancier phase.
The DVD. We got the DVD players when we moved in. Remember?
Oh yeah. DVD players when you moved in. That was some big shit.
That's when we got evicted before. Remember, we were in a scram trying to find a place to live. You were there with us too, weren't you?
Y'all should probably
Brandon
save
was there.
this for the show.
Oh, you're not even recording? Sorry.
No, we're recording.
Oh,
You gotta
okay.
shut the fuck up and just
Okay,
talk.
my bad.
Goddamn. Anyways.
But remember when we moved there, we were so excited. Like we get free Sony DVD players. So me, you, and Brandon all had DVD players when we moved into Post Road phase 2.
So it's probably like 12:30, like 1 a.m. And I hear the door like open and shut. I mean, like who knows? It's like, and Joey's room is right by the door. And then Brandon's room is down by mine. And for whatever reason, maybe the person didn't go into my room or whatever, but went into Brandon's. And I just wake up to this voice going, what the fuck? And I wake up and he is like scared of this girl. And she was like running like out of the apartment because she got drunk and gone in the wrong apartment. Mm-hmm. And I just remember thinking like, God damn, we left our door open?
I mean, but did we ever lock it?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Was she hot?
I don't know. She was running too fast.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Joey wasn't there to like shut the door.
Man, when I was asleep, I was out.
Joey walks out like, hey. What's up?
Man.
Scottie G.
Hey. Okay. Oh, okay. This is good. Me and are not friends on Facebook. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we're not friends on Facebook is because I was like talking shit about the Spurs like on his Facebook wall.
He was from San Antonio, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was talking shit about the Spurs on his Facebook wall, and then he got mad about that and defriended me. And so at the time, like I had his fucking phone number, so I texted him. I was like, bro, like, did you like really defriend me on Facebook? He's like, yeah. He goes like, I don't like. We can have a beer, but I don't want you writing that stuff on my Facebook wall. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we are still not friends on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And then we go to that football game. Me and Denney go to that football game. We run into all the fraternity brothers and shit like that. And posts like some pictures and stuff. Has the balls to comment on me in like one of the pictures. Now we're not friends, so I can't respond, and you can't tag me or anything. And Brandon was kind of like, hey, like what the fuck, dude? Like you're gonna be petty, and then you're gonna say, tell my brother not to be petty, and then you're just gonna straight up be petty.
What'd he say?
he said, Santa, he called me like Santa Gassner or something. It was like, look, he's horrible at insults. I mean, if you want to go word battle toe for toe, I'm down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate arguing with Scott about anything.
But you know what? I'm so much better. Because I just don't argue anymore. I don't.
I remember all those days that we would live together, and it just would not stop. Like, Scott, okay, I'm done. No, I'm not done yet. I want to get 5 more words in.
Hey,
It's like a wife.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I owe you an apology for that.
For which part?
Which part? Here we go.
Yeah.
I owe you an apology for the things. That sounds like a cop out. I didn't understand that I was doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware. Does that make sense? Like I wasn't aware that I was acting in this way with my close friends and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so, it's almost like being unconscious. Like I didn't know it was happening. And so to now retrospectively look at how I acted and then go, when you say stuff like that, I'm like, yep, like that's that dude.
Oh, well, no.
No, but what I'm saying is I didn't know. So I'm saying I'm sorry that, I did that, but I didn't do it knowingly. I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to be what I thought, I guess, an adult is supposed to be or a friend is supposed to be, which is nothing like what an adult or a friend is supposed to be, by the way.
You bring an interesting point because I remember, we lived a lot together. So we'd have our little bickers and here and there about stuff, but it didn't matter. It's like, I always hated arguing with you because it didn't matter what I said. It was like, you came up with something so quick. And my brother's like that too. And it actually drives me crazy because then you walk away and you're like, oh, I got something good. And it's like, man, it's over with. It's done. It's gone. It doesn't matter anymore.
But I think that's a lot about me or a person manipulating that conversation, like almost like a sheepdog or a cattle dog, like keeping cattle. Like I'm maneuvering it so you can't get at. There's no way you're going to get it. There's no way you can win. I've made it impossible. Yeah, and that's a shitty feeling to put on a person. And that's so again, like, but I didn't understand I was doing that. I don't know how to explain that I didn't know.
And
I know this is not an issue.
No,
but
it's not.
I think, I think part of me, part of our friendship, part of me healing and being a better person is acknowledging that I did that to you and going like, hey man, like, I'm sorry about that. Like, I wish I would have known better, but I didn't. But now I do. No. And now I know,
But conflict resolution is good, whether it's in relationships with your friends, your spouse, your children, whatever, your parents, whatever it may be. But specifically for you, it's like our friendship grew as we were living together, right? It became from acquaintances to good friends to best friends. And then it became that, like the older brother thing that I was talking about earlier, right? I was the middle brother. And so, when you kind of develop that relationship, no matter what you say, they're always going to be your brother. It doesn't matter what you're fighting about, what you are pissed off about. You always come back and resolve that conflict. And we always did. And
if it's a meaningful relationship, you will.
Right,
for sure.
right. Yeah. And so it was. And, I told you when I was driving here, I was kind of recollecting of, stories that if those came up. And I remember one time we were in Post Road, phase 2. And it was, I don't know what happened. Like I was really upset about something. And then you and I just kind of, I don't know what it was, but I got really mad at you. And then it started getting to like working out. And then it was like, as a friend, it was hard for me to hear this from you. And, I was like, I just turned 21. I was eating shitty food. I was drinking all the time. I started gaining weight. And I remember something you and I were like arguing about. And it's like, you're like, man, you just need to get back in the gym. I'm like, what do you call me, fat? You're like, dude, yeah, you've gained some weight. I was furious. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
And I started.
I apologize for that too. Jesus Christ!
What a dick!
But I needed to hear that too. But my point is I got so angry, which I don't get angry very often. And when I did, like, I remember I started throwing shit in my room, and you're like, you grabbed me, like, dude, this is not you. I'm like, just back off me for a second.
I kind of remember that part.
But it was good for me to hear because I've always been a runner, right? I've always taken good care of myself. But that 21, 22, man, I went from the 140 to like 185 real fast. And I didn't see it, right? Because it just grows up on you. It sneaks up on you when you're not taking care of yourself. So it was good because that's what I'm talking about, that conflict resolution, right? So we had that conflict and it, whatever it was at that time, led itself to what you needed to get off your chest and what I needed to hear. And then at that point, I'm like, you know what? I need to start taking better care of myself. So that's when you and I, we would run to,
I hated
we'd
it.
run that green hill all the way
Fucking
behind the golf
hated it,
course.
dog. I
What the
hated
fuck? He was 185? Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. I was
That's
like,
a lot of weight for your little frame.
okay, Denney, I'm opening up here. I don't need you to help push it.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm a fat fuck. I don't care, whatever. But that's. I don't think I remember you at 185.
I have some pictures that Scott took in our apartment complex, and I was like, man, that's pudgy. But anyway, yeah, and I remember, after that, you and I started working out together a little bit more, and that's things that I do now and I enjoy is running and working out. So it was fun. But again, back to my point, conflict resolution.
Well, I was telling somebody this. I need relationships where people are just going to be kind of straight up. Mm-hmm. I think as you get older, you realize that like, okay, all this other shit doesn't matter. Like, just what are we trying to do here? What are we trying to get at? Can we just, because I got shit I want to do or whatever. And so when I have relationships, I think that maybe I've always been that way. And in those moments, that was kind of what I was getting at of like, hey, do you want help? If you want help, like, I mean, if you're asking me, then let me tell you. But I didn't deliver it in a good way. And then, if you have those other experiences with me that you talked about, why the fuck would you like trust me? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like you wouldn't trust me because I gave you no space to do that. So like I could see how it would be that way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what's this kid doing? Trying to get in here.
And then I have my son, who is absolutely, he's brilliant. Like I don't know. He is already making his own video games. He's 13. He just turned 13.
They don't know if it's either one of their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, because where would he get brilliant from?
Yeah, it's definitely not me.
And it's definitely not Barbara.
Yeah, I mean, Barbara's smart, but she's not like this kid is like programming his own damn games.
Yeah.
And that's his big thing. He likes to make music, his own YouTube channel. And he posts these little music stuff on YouTube, and he's getting like a couple thousand hits on it every time. But so he likes that. He likes VR. He likes Minecraft is his big game, and has a little group of friends that he hangs out with online. And occasionally they get together at somebody's house and they do things. But neither one of them like sports. And I'm like, what? How?
My oldest and youngest are sports, and my middle boy, I mean, it's like he's the type of kid that likes to play with friends for a little bit, and then he's just like, leave me alone. Like, I just want to kind of do my own thing. And you'll see him. So he's 12 years old now. He's 5'5", same size shoe. Just he's going to be tall, and he'll just walk around the pool, and you can just see him kind of like his mind going, and like so he'll go and then go to his room and start drawing comics, and he'll draw these whole chapters, and then he's like, I want to go to film school. And it's weird because you take these three kids, you love them all the same, they're raised in the same house. You may have your favorite, but you love them all the same, right?
I only have one. So,
no, so you already have your favorite.
Yeah. Fuck eliminate that
but
shit.
they're all so different.
They are, absolutely.
Okay, I have a question for you. Why is it important that your kids like sports?
Because I like sports.
Well, so is that about you? Is that
Yeah,
about
it's
your
very
kids?
selfish. Yeah, I'm not lying when I say this.
You snorted.
Like I asked today because we the 49ers are gonna beat the Packers tomorrow, and it's gonna be by about 3 or 4 touchdowns, and I'm excited about it.
Predictions, like it.
Call shots.
And I have a brisket that I'm gonna put on the pit, and I'm gonna make some killer crackeroni and cheese and watch the game. And I'm like, hey, you wanna watch the game with me tomorrow? He's like, well, no. And I'm like, and so, and like, hey, do you want to go to the Texas State game with me? No, I don't. Like, I'll go, but I'm going to be on my phone the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want them to understand the feeling I get cheering for a team that I'm passionate about, right? And I know they probably get that somewhere else, right? From somewhere else. Like real big into music. She loves Kendrick Lamar. She loves
Do you take her to concerts?
Well, so that's the thing. Like I'm not super into concerts,
So I mean,
but I'll go with her.
do you see
But you got to be selfish on that then too.
No.
Thank you, Joe.
No, when she gets to the age where she's like, because I've asked her if she wants to go to concerts. I'm like, hey, why don't we go to ACL this past year? Why don't I get tickets to go to ACL because somebody was playing that she wanted to go see, and she was like, no, I'm good. But that's gonna happen, right? And then I find ways for not to interact, but I was just like, it'd be a lot easier for them if they like sports for us just to kind of fall in the same
A lot
group
easier
together.
for you, motherfucker.
Absolutely.
But I mean, goddamn, meet them in the middle, Dan. Like,
No, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying it's it kind of sucks.
No,
They don't like sports.
I get it. Like, it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's it's like the idea of that. Like, I'm only gonna have a daughter. It'd be cool to have had a boy that maybe would be into stuff that I'm into, like quote unquote, pass things down to, carry down your name, all this kind of stuff. But that's not the situation I'm in. So that's awesome to think about what that would be like.
Yeah.
But you never know. My daughter might be into sports, but I don't expect her to. But I also expect to trying to kind of nurture what she's into. I'm not really worried about connecting through what I'm into, even though it would be nice if she did.
Yeah, that's the point I'm getting at. Like,
Well-
it's like I have never been in. I can't sing. I think it has a lot to do with my ears. I can't. I feel like I have clogged ears all the time, and I just don't have the rhythm, whatever, or the. I just don't understand it. And so, like my daughter's singing, like I go and support it, and I'm there. I've been to every concert, and I want to encourage her to make her own music and bring musical instruments in the house. We have just about everything you can think of in our house for them to do that. And so I'll support it. I just don't get it personally on the same level that I do sports, right? I don't get it. Like you know what I mean? Like I can't read music.
But I mean, they're just
It's
coming
not my
at
passion.
They're just coming at it from the other side.
Yeah,
that's
I
what I'm
get
saying. You know what I
and
mean?
maybe to help expand my horizons, right?
Well, I
So I
think.
appreciate that.
Well, I think that anybody is more likely to engage into the things you want if you engage into the things they want. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely,
it's a
yeah.
mutual
Yeah.
kind of thing.
But it also follows passion, right? If you're passionate about something and your kids see it, they may likely gravitate towards it because they see the excitement, they see the passion
It's the example you said.
in your reflections. But
Do your kids run with you? Because I know you're
yeah,
big into running.
my middle one does run with me some.
Oh, that's
but,
awesome.
What I run and what they're capable of are a little different. However, then what I do is, what I do is a little bit different. Is if my daughter wants to go to concerts, my wife will take her.
Hey, if your kids want to run, just send them to Denny's house. Let them run with Denny. Stop killing your kids.
Yeah, like I get like 3 miles
I
in.
can't
I'm
look.
done.
I can't talk. I mean, like if your kids were ran with me, like they would. I mean, it's not their fault that their dad's like a ultra marathon fucking run, like a fucking.
I didn't start that way,
But I'm just saying, it's not their fault. Like
That's
they,
awesome.
but
it's like being Michael Jordan's son. It's like, hey, come play me in basketball. Let's do this. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They can't, but that's
I
okay.
interrupt. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But all at the end of the day, it's spending time with your kids. Whether
Absolutely,
it's
yeah.
whether it's watching sports or drawing with them. Having all three of us have daughters is I make sure that I spend some time with my daughter. Now, it used to be daddy and daughter dates since she was 5 years old. Once a month, we would go out and go somewhere to eat. Could be ice cream. It could be a formal dinner. Go to the movies. But I always made sure I did that. And then my wife does that with the boys just so both opposite sexes know how to be treated, when out. Like, I want to make sure my daughter knows how to be treated when we go out and have dinner.
I think, but
Do y'all have dinner together every night
No, well, we try to maybe
At
a
a
couple times a
table?
week.
at a table?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
It's hard, especially when they're all going different directions. But at least a couple times a week we do.
that's one of the things that we've made a priority in our house is that we eat together at least one meal a night. And we pray too, and we give thanks and for things that we're passionate. We talk about our days. We go around the table, and each one of us Like, say
Simple
something
question.
about your
How
day.
was your day?
Yeah. Or no, tell us about your day. And my son is really big into that. He'll go, well, I got up, I had breakfast, I went to first period and we did this, and second period, and he wants to do that every time.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's encouraging. And sometimes he's a little long-winded and other people are a little concerned, but that's okay.
It was sunny outside. It was 62 degrees.
Exactly. He's very, very detailed. Very detailed.
Okay, wait, I'm focused again.
Yeah, exactly. And no phones at the table, no TV on. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things, because I think it means
Unless
a
the
lot.
Niners game is on.
No, absolutely not. No.
They just won't have dinner during the
We'll
game.
we'll absolutely not have dinner during that time.
We'll push dinner up or down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, and like tonight, we're not going to have dinner together because I'm here and, you know, they probably have pizza come in their house. So
I was like, is it that late? What time do y'all eat dinner?
usually about 6:37.
What time do y'all eat dinner?
It fluctuates.
Yeah.
5:30 to 8, just depends. And again, it may be I eat with the boys and Ashton and Misty are doing whatever it is that she has going on that afternoon or that evening. And then, you know, sometimes we'll figure out like Mondays and Wednesdays are usually our days right now to have family dinner because of what's going on right now. But that can change in a couple of weeks when my son's playing baseball or my other one's doing band. So it just
Your middle one does band?
He does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we tried to get to, and he was like, no. He's in this advanced art class, and
he likes drawing, he plays guitar, and then when he went to sixth grade, he wanted to be in band. And so in band, where our school is, like, you have to try every instrument out. Now you can have your favorites, but they're going to test you on each one.
Yeah.
So he went in the mind, I want to be a tuba player, and they're like, well, nobody really wants to be a tuba player.
Nobody
so
is, yeah.
let's try everything else out first. And he rated really high on everything else but tuba. But in his mind, that's what I wanted to play. And so that's what he plays now. And they've had a couple, I'm not band savvy, but, you know, they'll have the chairs. Mm-hmm. And so he's gotten first chair a few times because he's just passionate about it.
Yeah.
What do you think that means that he picked the one thing that he was supposed to suck at the most? Is that his personality?
No, I just think I don't necessarily mean if it was sucked or not. It's just
like but I mean, it was like the lowest probability on the thing.
That he didn't know it was the lowest probability going in. He just knew going in he wanted to play that tuba. So that almost shows stubbornness, if you will, that this is what I want to do. And you can all tell me what I might be good at, but I'm going to do what I want to do.
But I think it shows perseverance and authenticity about who you want to be, no matter what this test kind of says. You know
Did he say why he wanted to do tuba?
No, that's just the instrument.
He's bringing the bass, dog. Like,
I mean, it's a big instrument too, but you know, he's tall. I think maybe my nephew.
He felt like he fit well inside a tuba.
He
goes in band. The tuba players get the most like girls.
Speaking of tall, I measured yesterday. That bro's already 5'9", 13.
Dang.
Like, and he's hit a growth spurt.
Man, that don't mean shit. I've been this tall since fucking that age, bro.
Oh, since you were 13?
Yep. I've been this tall since I was 13.
No shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
So at one point it was really like, yo, you're tall, and then it was just like,
you're 7 foot tall.
Yeah, like you're gonna be huge, and then you just don't grow anymore.
You just don't grow anymore.
What do you think like was going through Muggsy Bogues' mind as he didn't grow playing basketball? Like he was like, it's gonna happen. I'm good at basketball. I'm gonna get taller, and he just never did.
I think he didn't care. He found his tuba.
He found his tuba. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, did you live with us when stole my dog?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Were you there, Denney, or was it Marcelo?
Yeah, Denney was there.
I was there. Yeah.
Because I remember you called me.
No. Because the only way I found out was because of Denney.
Well, you called me and said, "Hey, have you seen my dog?" And I'm like, "Why? No, I hadn't seen your dog." And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Is Baxter right?"
Yeah.
Baxter was missing because you had Baxter, and then you had the Rottweiler too.
Right, Shiner.
Yeah. I mean, that was like some hostage negotiation stuff going down.
Well, I think you found out because told me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were dating her roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she should have noticed that real fast.
Well, I think the best part.
You have a random dog in our house, and it kind of looks like your dog. Oh, yours is missing?
No, because Denney never saw the dog. So I think the girl you were dating saw the dog.
Yeah.
Right? but couldn't like tell you straight up like she'd be selling her roommate out. So she let you like she was like, that's strange. There's a water bowl in the kitchen and we don't have an animal. And then I called Denney. I go, yo, man, have you seen my dog? He goes, no, but he goes, I better know who. And I go, what, man? He goes, look, I don't know, like, there's a water bowl in the kitchen and they don't have an animal and oh, sorry. She said blah, 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 or whatever. And I was like, son of a gun. So then I called her. And she denied. And then Denney, again, Rico over here calls me. He goes, hey, she's gonna throw him in the backyard around like 5 o'clock or something. Oh, why was Marcelo was still there though for some reason.
So I remember we lived together. I couldn't remember if Denney moved in.
So so Denney's Rico, and he's like, oh, she's gonna throw him back in the backyard like at 5 o'clock. So Marcelo got out in one of the bushes with a video camera and was trying to wait to like capture it, and then he got tired of waiting out there. And so then he came inside, and about the time he came inside, she threw the dog in the backyard, and we ran out after her, and the truck was like down the street, like taking off, dog.
Was I with you? I think I was with you, wasn't I?
Were you the guy in the bush?
I don't think I didn't have a camera, no.
Mm-mm.
It had to be Marcelo.
Can you imagine that conversation? Hey, Denney, yeah, we have a dog over here. It kind of looks like Scott's dog. Yeah. Basset Hound? Yeah. Oh, and it has a bowl named Baxter on it. And it answers to the name Baxter, so I think it's Baxter.
All right, so you want to start a podcast or no? When do you want to start?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We'll use what we can of this. Some of this is gonna be rough. Some of this might be fraternity only kind of shit. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, I'll just send out a video.
We haven't talked much about. We've talked more about our personal relationships, but yeah.
No, but just like more about like college and stuff like that, or what's interesting to other people.
Anyway. Sure.
Man, these.
When did you change the chairs?
I didn't change the chairs, dog. So look, I had two. I have two of those chairs, right?
The one break.
Mm-hmm. But those chairs are like over 60 years old.
Yeah. I like
so
them.
Then I found this like cool ass dude. Like he's living out on the outskirts of fucking out in like Terra Vista, out fucking some way. And I pull up to his place, and this hippie walks out. He's like, yeah, man. He goes, we'll take care of this chair. He goes, look, before I give it back to you, he goes, I'm going to jump around in this bitch. He goes, it will not break when I give it back. He goes, now I promise my work. And I was like, I believe you. And I was like, well, my mom's going to pay for it, so whatever. But I was like, do you know how hard it was to find somebody to fucking fix that chair? Nobody does shit like that no more. No, like, think about it. All your furniture comes from fucking like IKEA and shit. It's all cheap furniture. There's no like fixing furniture. So when you have old ass furniture like that, it's hard to get it professionally fixed.
There's a lot of small businesses that you'll find, like especially like in Houston. Like we have, my dad had all these antique furnitures.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that those are all these kind of little trade things are going away because we don't do. It's less and less needed. So there's only going to be a handful that kind of hang out and do that.
But
I don't know. I'm on this this Reddit thread somehow during COVID. I got introduced to a bunch of threads that I would have never thought, but one of them is woodworking. And you see a bunch of people out there that are doing or learning the woodworking trade. I'm not saying it's prevalent. It's certainly not what it used to be.
It's just like everything else. There's going to be a niche of shit.
Sure.
But also, if you follow, like, I don't know, like a sneaker Twitter or a woodworking Twitter or a woodworking social media, you're going to feel like there's a lot of woodworking going on.
Just because it's part of your thread.
Because it's part of your thread.
It may just be a few people.
It might just be, it's a few people across the fucking United States. It's not like they're all in your backyard. No. And there's a false sense of like, but also like, it's not like before. Like, think about when we were growing up without the internet, it's like, you had to look in the phone book to find a tailor or whatever. And now you just like, you get online or you book things online or you do things online or you ship stuff off or whatever. Yeah. The world is like so much bigger now than just like your home little town and what you could get there.
Yeah.
Everybody had to go to Victoria for their sporting equipment, didn't they?
Oh, Victoria Sports and
Victoria Sports and Outdoors
or Champs
or if you had audio questions, you go to High Pro Audio.
Yeah.
Remember that back in the day?
You got a tinkle or what?
I do. Yeah.
I do feel like we need to upgrade your jeans.
Dude, I've had these for like 15 years.
Oh, I believe that for fucking sure.
I love them.
I mean, bro, you're still rocking the look where it's like they've broken out in the back. You remember that? But then when you used to wear boots,
Yes,
and
but this wasn't like manufactured. I mean, these have miles on them.
I know. They're like wide leg.
I can't let them go.
I
It's just one of those things. Thank you.
I actually like them. Yeah.
Thank you, Denney.
I know what you're talking about. Well, because he's not wearing skinny jeans. Come on, man.
Am I wearing skinny jeans, motherfucker?
You would.
You would, yeah.
I can is the difference.
This is gonna be fun.
I'm sorry if my thighs are too big from squatting too much to wear skinny jeans.
Are you gonna do your introduction?
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
go
pull your mic in. So we go to Texas State bowl game. Thank you, Denney. And we're in our seats, and Denny's like, he goes, you can have beer delivered, or you can go pick it up. And like, did they say they couldn't deliver it? Is that what happened?
No, I picked the wrong thing.
Okay, so Denny says to pick it up, right? Now this, I don't think you pick it up, but I don't think you had a choice of where to pick it up from, right? Okay, so he says pick it up, right? Now you heard the story where they ran out of beer, right? So they sent Denny all the way around to the other side of the stadium to pick up the beer because they didn't have any beer on our side.
Oh man.
So
That was the first quarter.
So it was us.
So-
it was all us.
So it's interesting because they tie that to the party school, and it's like, oh, they cleaned us out before the halftime.
They had no clue what was coming. They had no clue.
You know what it was? This is my theory. Were there any other tailgates there? Or is that the only tailgate?
I think those are the two main ones, yeah.
But where were the other tailgates? I don't think there was. I think they only allowed alumni tailgate.
Maybe so, yeah.
So where are these people from out of town going to go drink before? You know what I mean? Like, because that's
At
where
a
we
bar.
go.
They were there at a bar.
Like, yeah, they'd have to go to a bar, but you're not going to drink a lot of drinks at the bar, right? Like, not only when you go to a tailgate.
I don't know. I've gone to
And
some
so
A&M
then,
games,
like,
drink a lot.
Well, I mean, the bar was just like a small warm up that they got in the stadium. But how much were those beers, dude?
$12 each.
Crazy.
I went to one of the playoff games for the Astros, the first one, and to park.
ALCS?
Yeah. And to park and buy beers, I think I bought 4 beers and 2 pretzels. It was like $100 and something dollars. It was like $20 something dollars for, those 24-ounce bears. It was like,
Let's just talk about that ALCS. It was it was the World Series, I think.
yeah.
I think as probably 2 Astro fans and a Rangers fan over here, I loved every second of that game. But I honestly, after y'all beat us all 3 games in Dallas, I was like, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. We're not. There's no coming back. I mean,
Well, little did know it'd be like a weird freak thing where like no home team would no away team would lose, right? Is that what it was at home?
no home team won.
Yeah.
No home team. Yes, the away team was winning all the games.
Every game,
Who would have known that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it was huge.
Things are going to look a lot different next year, right? Because they're just changing up so much of that program. So we'll see. Hopefully Astros still have a hope.
Don't let get in your head. No.
No,
I was happy that if it wasn't the Astros, the Rangers got to play, even though I wasn't
wouldn't.
happy about it.
I wouldn't.
At least it was a Texas team representing.
So Dennis and
It's
I.
like me rooting for the Cowboys. That ain't gonna happen either.
Honestly, I don't care who it is. Like, you go to the games. When we were in Boston, we went to a Boston Red Sox game. For one, you get to appreciate the old stadium, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But get to watch baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
I hate watching basketball on TV, but if I'm there at the game, I love it.
Yeah.
I also went to a baseball game in Boston this past year.
Did you really?
Right? Yeah, because I was coming back from Budapest, and
Budapest.
our flight got delayed in Boston.
Making a fun night of it.
So I was there. It was with my financial advisor. So I was like, I go, hey man, well we're stuck here. So you want to go to a baseball game if there's one in here? And he goes, there was one, right? And it was the first time that I've been to a game that had a pitch clock, like the speed up version or whatever. So it's Boston. Want to walk around a little bit and look at some shit. So we're in like the second inning or whatever, go get a hot dog. And then like I look up and I was like, it's a 7th fucking inning. We like missed half the fucking game. Like, I mean, because it just goes by so fast. Like you literally, like, I mean, it was crazy how fast the game went by, you know?
Yeah. Well, we
But
were
them
on
hot dogs are the tits.
We were on the opposite end. We had a game at 7, but when we got there, it was pouring down rain. So they didn't start playing until like 8:30, 8:45. So like, what are you going to do? Just sit there in the bleachers? Hell no, we're going to start drinking.
Who'd you go with?
So we took Misty and I, we tried to do 2 trips a year. And then like this
Just
year.
y'all two? Just y'all two?
So it was us and then her sister and my brother-in-law.
Okay.
But not with the kids.
Not with the kids, no.
But y'all do a separate trip with the kids?
Yeah, we'll do, like, last year was our trip. So we went to Costa Rica, and then we went to Boston and Maine. And then this year, we're going to go to take the kids to Mexico. And so we try to flip-flop it every year.
And leave them there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But we did, so we spent 4 days in Boston, where we did a lot of the Freedom Trail. So you're going to all the old
Paul Revere's
town hall.
stuff,
The Paul Revere House, the different some churches, you know, because you see like really old cemeteries there, right? Because, you know, all the ones that are here were, you know, 1800s, whereas there's like 1600s.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And anyway, we did the Freedom Trail, we did the meeting halls, but we'd go to like a couple museums and we'd go to a bar. Couple museums and then a bar. And we did that for a couple days. Went to a Boston's game, went to that little Cheers bar. And then we took a train to Maine, and we spent, I don't know, like 4 days in Maine.
Kenny Bunkport?
I can't remember what town it was called, but it was like one of the small, like, because, you know, Maine is like this, right? You have all these little inlets and all these little small towns. So we stayed in one of those small towns, and we just traveled through the day and go to different areas to go see lighthouses, hiking. Yeah, it's a blast.
Cool, man. Sounds like a fun trip. Barb would actually love that, actually.
I threw down on some lobster rolls.
Oh, yeah.
I was sick of lobster rolls.
And it's cheap there, too, like compared to what you get lobster rolls here.
It wasn't cheap when we were going. But
well, I don't know. When I went to Maine, of course, this is 2008, 9.
Bro, there's talking iPhones. It's barely iPhones in 2009. You're like, when I went to Maine, and it was probably cheap as fuck back then.
Well, yeah, it was like $7.99 for a lobster roll. Like here.
Oh no, they were like $26 to $30.
Oh wow!
A roll.
Like we got a whole lobster, like a pound and a half lobster for $30.
We
Inflation,
at Warren's right there on the border of Maine and whatever. Yeah.
So you think about like when you're in Maine and you see all those lobster traps, right? Because they have the buoys that float with them. Like boats go by that all the time, so they'll accidentally cut them, and then so those crab traps are just sitting at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so they call them. I was talking to this local there, and they were talking about like death boxes because they can't be pulled up anymore. The cord's cut, but lobsters get in and they just die. So I'm sure there's like if you go down in that water, you'll just see boxes upon boxes of like, you know, lobster traps that are just decaying and lobsters being stuck in it.
Help me. Yeah, he's too cool to stay here with my kid, I guess, or whatever. We were gonna play
Where's
video.
Jeffrey
We were gonna play
live?
video games.
I
I was gonna play Mario Party and fucking.
Oh, that's old school right there,
bro. Do you remember?
Let's stop getting distracted. Go record the beginning, please, so we don't have that hanging over
Whose
our head.
podcast is this? Do you
He's
remember?
trying
when
to help you out.
Do you remember we
I
used to
am.
play Mario Party and like I guess I drank Captain Morgan's. I don't know if you were drinking it.
The spiced, yeah.
And we just get fucking lit at home.
That was another thing I thought about driving over here is all the times that we played Mario Party and the Mario
Tony Hawk.
Kart. Tony Hawk too, yes.
Tony Hawk, pro skater.
But remember, was it Mario Kart? Like when it just came out?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like the first edition. And then we played Mario Party, like that first edition of that. And that was so much fun, right? It was because it was like an electronic board game.
Yeah.
Like, you had all these little mini games inside it. And I mean, you know, 2 people team up against 1 and all against all. It was fun.
My kids and I play that.
Do y'all really?
Yeah. On their Nintendo Switch, they have like Mario Party 10 or whatever.
Have you downloaded like the old school? Like I know you when I was upstairs, I saw your Nintendo 64, and then like you download the old school Nintendo games for your
ROMs,
kids, and they're like, "This sucks, Dad." Like that's Contra. Let me tell you how that went down.
Oh.
That's Mega Man 2. Right? That's Zelda. Like,
You can't play because we bought this old like Nintendo simulator that has all the old games on it. You can't play Duck Hunt on a newer TV. It has to be a CRT TV.
No, you don't. I can do it on my TV upstairs.
No, you can't. Not
When we finish this, we'll go upstairs. I'll shoot some ducks right in front of you.
well. Maybe it's not the same technology. Then maybe it's something different because
Well, the TV's kind of old, but it ain't that old.
Well, we try to play it on ours, and it like blanks the screen out. Like it's
like turn it off and on.
Like look it up. Look it up. You cannot play. They said it has to be a CRT TV.
Now I got to collect some CRT TV. Just fucking.
It was like those TVs, like remember they had like the furniture.
What kind of TV is a CTE TV? Is that like
CRT?
CTE? Is that what you said?
Cathode ray.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Cathode ray.
He's smart. I'm not going to question him.
Yeah.
He worked for Dell.
But you remember, like, we used to have the TVs like this.
Well, this is a record cabinet.
I know, but very similar. Like, you have your TV here, and then over there would be your control panel.
And then when you got the new TV, it would set on top.
Yep. Yeah, and then it became decor.
And then you're like, God, thank God I don't have to go change the fucking TV anymore.
I know you have to just lay down and do it with your toe.
Like it was, there was no remote, so your parents would be like, hey, go change the TV. Or at least my parents did.
Mm.
This final segment is brought to you by HeyJustBe.com. I believe that achieving balance in the mental, physical, and metaphysical aspects of your purpose through learning, serving, and creating can transform your life into one you truly enjoy living. Want to learn more? Visit www.heyjustbe.com.
All right. So how I usually wrap this thing up is I ask people, what do you do to just be the best version of yourself so you can be good for everybody else? But since we have so many people in the house tonight and we've just hung out like way too long, I decided to take the last like of our mixtape therapy questions, which is like the reflection question. We're going to kind of use that for our just be so we can all kind of start off with a strong one. So we can just kind of like reminisce and do what we've been doing. Anyways. So, why do you think we are in each other's lives?
We all serve purpose. And it was something that we were talking about earlier, I think before Denney got here, is, people come in your lives because they need to feel something for you. And I think like once that's filled, you kind of like separate from them a little bit, but I think that they'll still come back in and out of your lives because you make that connection with them. So you have friends that are there to kind of help support you, and I feel like you tend to gravitate towards people that there's something that you're looking for, that you're needing, whether it's a shoulder to cry on or some positivity or some influence. And so that's where you kind of develop these relationships with people that are pseudo friends that'll be there for that time frame, or some that you really make a lot of connections with that kind of help fill a bunch of holes, and then they'll kind of be in and out of your life throughout your life.
No, I think it's all about what you manifest in your head. Like a lot of what he's saying is like people come in your lives, but you manifest those people when they come and you have a chance to be around them. And I think to a lot to what Joey was saying, we don't necessarily know that we need each other's friendship or brotherhood when we first meet, but you're put together because you're drawing that in. Like you're putting out the vibes and the feelings in out into the world, and those people are coming and attracting to those vibes, almost like pheromones. I would equate it non-sexually, right? At least in our standpoint. But
thank God he clarified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think that that you guys have both served purpose in my life when I needed it, right? And continue with that bond that we've had and we built even this day. Like Joey, you said you called me the other day, and I'm sorry I didn't pick up, but probably whatever reason I didn't. And but that's not always the case. Like usually when we talk, when you call, I pick up, or vice versa. And I think we just need to make it more of a habit to do this in person because it's meaningful,
mm-hmm.
And I get a lot out of it. Like I have joy in my heart right now.
Yeah.
From being here with you guys. So
he was whacking it.
That's later.
So I'm going to kind of alter this question. And we could all answer this. How do you think I've grown since college? I'm gonna tell you right now, Denny, you can confirm this. This dude is so much better looking than he was in college.
Joey?
Yeah.
It's the beard.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the beard?
No,
No.
Hey, this guy's like he's like Paul Wall Silver Fox over here, dude.
No, yeah. He's a good looking guy.
I'm losing my hair though too at the same time.
Hey.
I appreciate you saying that.
You see my 5 head? Come on. Trust me, my kids reminded me of it all the time. Like,
Dad, you're so bald.
no, they're like, you should just go ahead and get rid of it, Dad. I'm like, I'm hanging on.
Keep
I'm hanging
it
on.
while I have it. I'm gonna keep it
I'm
going.
hanging on. Hang on to it. And I know I'll be back here at some point. We'll see. I'm gonna embarrass you.
You look like what was it? That basketball player, White, played for the Spurs. And his hairline just kept going backwards and backwards and backwards. So he finally cut Derek White. This guy's a Spurs fan. Didn't even know Derek White plays for Spurs. Get the fuck out of here,
I don't
dude.
remember. He wasn't very influential in my life.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bro, he played the last time the Spurs were relevant with Kawhi Leonard. Getting out of here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So
Anyway.
To answer your question,
Yes.
you know, that you have a child in your life now, I think that helps grow a lot. It teaches you selflessness. It teaches you about time and being able to spend quality time with the people that you love most, which is Aaron and your child. So I think that is good for you in order to take on that challenge and, be able to love in different ways.
You know what's so crazy is that I agree, but the circumstances that led up to her birth were already preparing me for the selflessness, right? So when I got to her, it wasn't like a big jump to become as selfless as possible, with good boundaries, right? And I think without that, it would have been a harder transition. But my life led me in that direction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think, the children are the reason we're here, and
they're our future,
and
we got to teach them well and let them lead the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all that.
Show them all the beauty.
All that is good and well, but like all these people in this whole movement of people who are dinks, dual income, no kids, and they're exposing this lifestyle of being either, without kids and how great their lives are and this and that. I think they're missing something, and they're missing something very important.
I disagree with you. And the reason being is because they don't know any different. And like, if I didn't have kids and my wife and I both had jobs and we could go travel and do whatever, I mean, I think that would be great. Right. But that's not our situation. Like, we have kids, so we adjust to what we have, in which we have kids.
But I think
look, hang on really quick. Kid-free life is great. Kid life is great, but I don't think all of them are for everybody. And I think you are missing out on things if you don't have kids. But like, it's not a necessity to have a good life.
I think your life is unfulfilled from a standpoint of the joy that I feel in my life from my kids. And I think that the reason people don't take the journey down parenthood is because they're selfish.
Well, think about this. Think about somebody that can't have kids, right? So you're telling that person they can never achieve joy?
That's a difference.
But
that's a difference.
But that is one of the reasons why people don't have children,
and
right?
There's the option to adopt or whatever. Listen, there's all, maybe, I think what I'm talking about is the people that purposefully choose not to have kids. And I just don't, from my selfish or naive perspective and the joy that my kids have brought me, I just can't imagine if I had the ability to have kids and I chose not to. Well, I don't know.
Let me tell you somebody that is fresh out of the not having kids game, right? Like, I was perfectly happy, I had perfectly come to terms with not having kids, because I was so much older, right? And yeah, like that was something I wanted, but I was like, it's just like not happened. It's not like I have a bad life. It's like we do cool shit, blah, 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 whatever, go on, whatever. And then this happened, and it's hard to explain how wonderful it is. And like, I would never go back to, like, I'd never want to go back to not having children, but also like that life wasn't bad.
I'm not saying,
you know what I mean?
That's
And like,
that's not exactly what the point that I'm trying to make is. Maybe I'm just doing a poor job of explaining it, but
no, what you know now about having kids, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it too.
And it's funny because Barbara recently, as recent as because she went through some pretty scary health issues, right?
She won't get another one.
Yeah. And she was like, we should do it again. I'm like, bro, we're almost done. What are you talking
There's
about?
the light at the end of the tunnel. No. I don't want to start all over.
And so I get the fact, but I feel like my life would be incomplete without having my children or children in general.
That is a very fair feeling.
Yeah.
But there's no way to describe that to someone that has not or can't do that.
Yeah.
And so they don't know how. It's like trying to tell a blind person like what shit looks like. You know what I mean? They'll never get it. You know what I mean? They'd have to be able to see.
Sure. No, I totally understand. And I think at one point in my life, I was like, I don't think I want to have kids, but
And then look what happened. 2 of them.
2, maybe 3.
That I know
2,
of.
maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
That I know of.
Yeah. Describe a life-changing moment that we've gone through together. Besides picking me up off the side of the road off the emergency accident. Jeff's wedding.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Joey had way too much Jim Beam, and he broke out into this horrible, like he'd get these horrible whelps.
The Asian glow.
And there would be there was some sort of picture of us somewhere we're all like together, and Joey's just like he's just glowing.
He was
so bright red.
Allergic reaction that I have, which is why I don't drink much anymore. But
do you get that with all alcohol, or is it just like brown liquor?
Wine is definitely bourbon, not so much. Clear liquors, absolutely.
Clear liquors, you get the regular the glow.
But it also depends on how much I'm drinking. Like if I'm like on a weekend of guys like partying, usually by night 2, even after I have a few beers, I'll start getting red again. It never went away. It started in high school and to this day.
I think he has that Asian glow. Because my buddy Jason Lin, who is half Chinese and half Vietnamese, he does not drink. And the only reason he doesn't is because he gets sick. And and it's something in Asian culture. So maybe you have,
a lot of them.
He's the last dragon. He's got that Asian glow.
So you need to take a DNA
but my
test.
dad, because he was a bad alcoholic, so he was red all the time. So my dad had it, and it happens to my mom too. So I think it's hereditary as well.
Yeah.
Do you know a life-changing moment that I've had with Joey?
What's that?
When we lived in that house, what was that street on?
Nevada.
And we got kicked out. And Joey had to go drop off that last check to the renter.
And
to the landlord?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scott.
To the landlord. Yeah. Go ahead.
It was me, you, and Brandon. All 3 of us went. And
This is life changing. I was like, holy fuck.
So we go there, we give him the check, and then it's pouring down rain, and the car is like his wife or something parked in front of me. So I was like, well, I'll just kind of go around him real quick. But as soon as I went around, my Mustang just sunk in the mud. And so I'm like shifting gears and like throwing mud everywhere. So Scott has to get out and push my car back so I can just back up instead of going around the car. We leave these huge ruts in our landlord's like little cul-de-sac that he had.
Now, that's not the way I remember it. I remember it feeling like this motherfucker is cutting donuts in this dude's front yard.
On purpose.
On purpose. That's the way I remember it.
I don't think that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Have we had a life-changing moment?
I mean, probably. I don't know.
It's okay if there's not.
I can't think.
All right. Well, go ahead. Have we had one? Do you have one?
Well, no. It's something that led up to this.
Okay.
So, my neighbor across the street, him and his wife were like our grandparents when we moved to Houston, right? Because we don't have any immediate family. So they've been like the grandparents to our kids. They're phenomenal. There's been times where like I'm stuck at work and Misty was doing something and our kids were sick, they would go pick them up from school. You know, they were always there to help
that's
us.
awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm like, love them to death. Well, he recently took a trip over Thanksgiving to go see one of his children in Washington, flew back. As soon as he landed, was walking to get his luggage, dropped. Like, and I don't know what the diagnosis was, but anyway, after that, it's like he was 70 years old, 70 years healthy. He's like my best, oldest friend in Houston. And after that, it's just like, you just never know when you're going to go.
No,
it could happen in a car. It could happen in your sleep. It could happen when you had a great time with your family and you fly in. And so because of that, that's when I'm like, Scott, absolutely, I'm coming and I'll do the podcast, because YOLO, right? You only live once and you never know what's going to happen. So if there's opportune times to get to see your friends, get to do something that you wanted to do, push the boundaries on something, do it, because your time's limited.
This is where it gets back to, you need a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Once a year at least. Come on, man.
And there's a thing of like, you have to make those things a priority. And sometimes you have to make it the priority so other people will make it the priority.
Like a Texas State bowl game.
Going back.
Next year, Joey.
We get bigger than the Surf Pro.
Bro, it was so fun. Like, amazing, because we didn't go to football games when we were at Texas State,
Never.
did we? Ever.
We
went to,
tailgated.
A lot.
We tailgate.
I think we go to the bars.
Yeah, we go to the bars. So, but this experience, Joey, it was a big school experience. It's what we never got when we were at school. And to look back at it now and be like, oh, this is why people go to Florida. This is why people go to Texas. And this is one of the reasons why, I could say, besides academically, right?
I think we've established that Denney likes football today, for sure.
I like football.
Without a doubt.
I like football.
I like football.
Okay, so really quickly, everybody can kind of go real quick. Okay, just one thing. What have you figured out about life?
I mean,
I'll give you mine real quick.
It's never as bad or as good as you think it is. And if you think in the moment it is, you're wrong. And you need to take a step back and have perspective on anything that's going on, right? Take a break, take a step back, evaluate the situation, and try to find the positive, like I mentioned earlier, out of anything that you're looking at.
take chances.
Mm-hmm. That too.
And that's hard for me. So just,
especially when you're younger.
well, even now,
Any
it's like,
time in life, take
Well,
chances.
yeah, but like, especially when you don't have a family, especially when you're not held down to like a place. Like, I can really appreciate all these kids like not buying homes or traveling. I guess that's what the news says they're doing or whatever. But like, I can appreciate that they're like, hey, I'm not gonna really be held down right now. Like, I'm gonna go see the world and travel and stuff like that. Like you should do those things, you know. But at some point, hopefully, like, you know, getting all the way back to Denney's point of like,
they're not pioneers in that. People used to do backpacking and travel the world when they were younger for a long time. I think we got jaded to that because of whatever reason.
Well, to your point more, I think it's always been going on. We just have cameras now. We have iPhones, but it's always been going on.
It's always been going on.
But I mean, you know, it was something that I thought about doing that I didn't do. You know, I was like, I'm gonna graduate school and just go to Mexico and surf for like 6 months, and I'm gonna come back. And like that, I didn't do it. You know, and so yeah, taking chances, right?
I learned how to surf. I learned how to surf like 3 years ago. In Costa Rica.
Big kahuna.
I was using a really big board, and it was tough.
it's fun though. Once you get up and get going, it's fun.
Yeah,
Motherfuckers on a sailboat. I'm just kidding.
I was absolutely.
I think my one thing that I've learned is that like you really can't ever have enough patience. When you don't think that you have enough patience for something, just give it a little bit more. Like that little bit of patience will bring out a lot of things that if you try to force it, that won't come out naturally. Does that make sense? And so you can always just try to be just a little bit more patient, like with your kids or with your parents, especially when they get old, or
With your job,
with your
work.
job, with
Yeah.
your work, with your friends, grace around like, and patience around that they have busy lives. So if they cancel, you have to fucking be like, well, I'm not gonna be friends with this dude anymore because he keeps canceling or what. That why waste your time on that? No, but I'm saying like, but that to that point,
Yeah.
like that's not. If I would go like, yo, fuck you, Joe. Like you keep canceling on me. Like fuck, like if I got upset about you wouldn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't be more inclined to do it. Showing you grace and going like, hey, I want this. How do I help you facilitate that? Is the best I can do.
Right.
And so.
What's the best rock album of all time? Go.
I would say
If you say the Beatles, I'm gonna punch you.
Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay.
Are we naming a specific album or a group?
Well, you can say group, album, whatever.
Well, I mean, if a specific album is way different than a specific like group, like this is fucked up. This is what I go to.
Name what you want to name.
Okay, I go to Guns N' Roses' "Appetite for Destruction"
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's great.
because I can almost listen to that album all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's sacrilegious to say something like that. I'm sure there's great rock albums, but for me, influenced by music, that it's the first thing that I think of.
It could be like for me, like Sublime, Santeria, or like Tool, Enema. Like both of those, like meaningful to me. I love them both. I think they're masterpieces. It could be also be Radiohead, like OK Computer, like things like that.
I just listened to that album for the first time ever, like just like maybe a couple weeks ago.
It's kind of sad though, and I just don't like to be in that. I don't like to be in that
album sad.
I don't like to be in that headspace. Like Radiohead in general, they're just it's kind of melancholy and just kind of drags you like to a place, but it's very artistically, it's very good.
Well, look, I've interviewed a lot of musicians, and we always end up talking about Radiohead, and I'm trying to understand like what's the deal.
What's the draw with it?
Yeah, well, because like
It's the lyrics.
Aaron's really into Radiohead, her cousin's really into Radiohead, these other people are Radiohead, and I'm like I hear certain songs, like I've heard like like Karma Police, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The songs everybody hears, but like to deep track it and go like, man, I'm trying to understand why this is such a thing. And it was the OK Computers. It was good. Like
it was a great album.
It's just it's interesting. It's different. Like I probably could listen to it a couple more times and really get something out of it. But like listening to it one time, it wasn't like, man. I'm trying to think of like maybe I'm making this up in my head.
You gotta get really high and listen to it.
No, but the first time I listened to Doggy Style, like top to bottom.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like the whole thing. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. The whole top to bottom. Like I didn't feel like that about Radiohead. You know what I mean? But maybe it's just a genre of music. Maybe it's maybe
it's just not your thing.
Yeah, maybe it's just that. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Like these mumble rappers.
Or it's a time and place where you needed that music at the time. You're like, oh man, this hits home.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you run to?
Strobe by Deadmau5.
I change it up all the time. So I'll do podcast. I'll do Spotify. I'll kind of go to my old like grunge and the 2000s rock.
Nickelback.
Doesn't it affect your run? Your pace though?
It doesn't. Like I run so much. Like I find my groove and I'm in it. It doesn't matter if I'm listening to a book, if I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm listening to music.
Do you actually hear what's going on, or are you concentrating on your breath? Because like. No.
When you do it is that much, it's like, I mean, I know that I can take 4 steps before I really take a breath. I know that I'm usually always breathing through my nose. I know that my pace, and I kind of get lost in music for a while, or I get lost in a podcast or a book. And that's my downtime, right? One of your questions is, what calms you, what makes you a better person? And that's my running, right? Because that's my time to not only get myself physically fit and wear myself down, but it also kind of escape with my thoughts, think about, maybe a problem that I'm having with my wife or something that's going on with kids or something with work. That's my downtime, even if it's running. Well,
I'm pretty solid on this opinion now, but it's meditation. You're doing a level of meditation, right? It might not be traditional meditation, but or you could call it journaling or bringing awareness or taking inventory. But you're doing that process of focusing on yourself. Who do you want to be? Thinking about who you are, like what you want to do as a person, how you want to show up for people. That you're going through all those things. So I got in an argument with my wife. How do I want to respond when I go back to her? Do I need to apologize for something I did? Taking an inventory, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think that that's like very important.
But then all that is encased with goals that I'm trying to achieve, whether it's a certain amount of miles I'm trying to run per week or per month, or a certain distance that I'm trying to go. Right.
Yeah.
So it's all that is, for your term, meditation with a goal in mind.
Yeah. Well, did you have as good a time as you thought you would?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is great. Getting to spend time with you. I hadn't seen Denney in forever.
I know.
I mean, the last time I think I saw him was when you got married.
Here's what's
I
so
wasn't
messed.
at his wedding.
You weren't? Okay, so let's see him before that.
Oh, you're gonna bring that up, Joey? He didn't come to
It's
my
my
wedding.
bad. Wait, was I invited?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Were you invited? Don't you try to flip the tables? Of course you were invited. Do you know? So like this is how messed up this is. Is like, not that this matters at this point, but I didn't realize Denney didn't come until the wedding was totally over, and we were like back at like hanging out with just me and my ex-wife, and we're just kind of talking about things. And then I was just like, I think I thought of like Jody or you, and I was like, where the fuck is Denney?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he didn't come. And I was like, oh man, I
I
can't.
don't even remember like what happened that weekend.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter now, but I'm just saying like.
But I guess what I'm
remember.
saying is like I genuinely wanted you there.
Well, yeah, I
you
wanted
not
to be
being
there,
able to
too.
come is like that's just
Yeah.
the circumstances. But like there wasn't other people on the list of people that didn't come that I didn't notice that didn't come. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so it just means all that means is that I wanted you there because you were important to me. So
Yeah, I appreciate that.
yeah.
Like,
No, but this has been a good time. I love kind of catching up and laughing and sharing funny stories, either on camera and not.
Well, I mean, it's all on camera. Just not everybody's gonna see everything. So because that's weird. All right, so push your microphone out. You gotta give me a hug. Denney, come get him this hug. Denney, like, getting all brutal. You guys. Uh-oh. Oh, jet long. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. All right, love you guys. Love you.